Hello, this is CSC 3023. My name is Jimmy Stinson and my student number is 402-68894. And today I will be demonstrating my final prototype for the BIT project. So if I go into my code and I run it, it opens in Edge. And basically I wanted to create a education system that would be used in schools to educate children on eating healthily and keeping fit. Um, Mainly giving them information through the use of articles and videos, and then involving quizzes to allow them to uh, test their knowledge, essentially. Um, and straight away, based on the color scheme, I wanted to keep everything bright to draw their attention and not um, put too much information on the page at once as to not to overload them. When you compare it to my original prototype, some of the colors have stayed the same. I've changed others, like the green and the blue have stayed. I thought those went best together. Um, this is the front page, the initial prototype for the front page. And as you can see, it's changed quite a bit. So I've added an example logo up at the top, and a navigation bar, which is the same for each page. And I've also added a footer, which is the same for each page as well. The achievements and the badge have stayed the same, and there's still the text in the middle. Um, so this page is the first page that the users see. I haven't included a login because theoretically it would use their school login, so they wouldn't have to log in again. So if they logged into the computers in school, say, then it would take that information, and then it would be unique to them. So the achievements would change for them, the badge would change for them, etc. Um, if we go into the code for the first page, um, as you can see, this is the navigation section that repeats for each page on the website, and then we have the main body of text, which is the articles section, just an overview of each article, and then we have the achievements with some pictures and the badge with a picture as well, and then the footer. Um, for that, everything was created in HTML and then it was styled with CSS. I'll show the CSS file at the end and go through it quickly. So that's the first page. Um, and the users have a couple of options. They can go to the articles page, the videos page, or the quiz page. The articles can also be redirected to by clicking the continue reading. And this brings them to articles um, which are related to the headings. And these articles are embedded from other websites. I have included the sources in my source code file. But if we go to the articles HTML file, you can see it's just embedded iframes, which I thought made more sense than trying to make a whole new article. I thought I'd use the resources I could find online. And that's pretty much the articles page and they can scroll through this, they can interact with it. Um, and I thought it would be a good way of teaching them. The second features page is the videos page, and it loads up like this. Again, this is embedded YouTube videos, which the sources have been included, and the students can interact with these. They can make them full screen. And I've added sections for each. There's one on exercise, there's one on eating healthily, and there's one on why they should get active. And I've added activities and then a lot of information just to help them learn. And the source code for this is similar to the articles page. Um, it's got the navigation bar, the footer, and then we've got different sections containing each of the YouTube videos that the users can interact with. And sort of the final feature for the children is the quiz page, which is a YouTube quiz I created, just a very brief YouTube quiz. So they can go through, if I just do this at random, so then they can submit that, and then they can go out and view their score. So I got 1 out of 4, but yeah, it gives them a score. I originally was going to create a quiz using HTML and Java. It didn't quite work, so instead I thought it would be better to use a Google one, and really it makes more sense because using the Google you can extract the information of who actually did the quiz, which would be better for updating the statistics, which I'll show on the next page. But if we look at the source code for the quizzes, it is very simple. Basically, the only thing that's different is this, which embeds the Google Doc I made into onto the website. So I wanted to add some features that could be used by the parent and teachers, mainly for the teachers. In my brief I made at the start, I said I wanted to include a way for teachers to view who had used the system, like who in the class had used the system and how many quizzes, videos, and articles they had completed. And then I wanted to include a meal finder, which would allow parents and teachers to enter different ingredients into the system, and then they'd be given a list of recipes they could use within school or at home. So if we go to the parent and teacher zone, this is just an example table for the year 7s within that school, which shows the student name, how many quizzes they've completed, how many videos they've watched, and how many articles they've read. It's very simple. It's just to give the teachers an overview of who's using it, how much they've used it for, and sort of the progress they've been making. And if we go to the source code for this, we can see it's just a table that I've included with the names and each of the statistics for the students. And the final interactable feature is the meal finder. Originally, I was going to have different forms. So if I open up my original prototype, you can see I originally wanted to have a list where they'd be able to choose their available ingredients, and then also allow them to manually search for a meal. Like if their child wanted something in particular, they could search for a meal, and then it would bring up a list of meals, and then it would show the recipe on the side. However, I thought that would be maybe a bit too much, possibly a bit confusing. I thought I could make things a lot simpler by simply getting them to enter whatever ingredients they had. For example, if they had chicken and pasta, and then they search for meals, it will redirect them to Google. And of course, the first thing that comes up is recipes for that meal. A lot of the time, it's BBC Good Food, which is also relatively healthy. And then they can search through and see which one they'd like to cook. I thought that would just be better than creating a whole form system, which would be far too confusing. And that covers the main features. There's just a few extra things, um, like whenever you hover over the nav bar, these glow just to give you a more clear indication of what you're using or what you're going to be clicking on. Um, and that is pretty much all the features I have used creating my website. And of course, this is hypothetically going to be used within schools, um, maybe during PE classes or aside from PE classes, just to give children more of understanding of why exercise and eating healthily is important, while also giving teachers and parents a way of helping their children understand that and seeing the progress that they're making into understanding that. Thank you for watching.